Okay, I'm proud to be joined by our leadership team of Senators Durbin, Murray, and Stabenow. So we had a great lunch today, really a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of new ideas on focusing on lowering costs for working families, whether it's child care or prescription drugs or semiconductor chips or filling up the gas pump, what's on the dining table, cost of food. We're coming up with solutions to address these issues. That's the big difference between Democrats and Republicans when it comes to lowering people's costs. We have real answers. They don't. They just attack. And why don't they have answers? Because much of the time it goes after the special interests that support them. So they don't want to deal with the oil companies or the meatpacking companies or the shipping monopolies. So we are focused on getting costs down, and you're going to see a lot of activity in March on us, from us on that issue. Now, let's not forget, we're a very strong economy. In President Biden's first year, the economy added 6.6 million new jobs, the most ever in a president's first year. But we're not stopping there. Now that wages are going up, we want to make sure costs go down so the average person has more money in her or his pocket. And that's what our whole lunch was about, or most of our lunch was about today. Various members came up with different ideas, and we're going to focus and we're going to come up with caucus agreement on those ideas. Not everyone will agree with each idea, but there'll be large buy-in, and you'll hear a lot about this from us as we move on. And one of the ways we're reducing costs, of course, is the competition bill to relieve U.S. supply chains. That was bipartisan. And on any of these cost-saving bills, we'll welcome Republicans joining us. If we can get 60 votes on a bunch of them, that's fine. But when we can't, we're still going to move forward. And you'll see some votes on the floor on these as well. We've been pushing for years, for instance, to lower the cost of prescription drugs. We think it's an outrage that insulin should cost $600 per month rather than $35 a month. And we're working with Republicans on antitrust bills to increase competition. So as I said, some will be partisan, some will be bipartisan, but we have solutions, and we're going to focus like a laser on reducing costs. The new proposals and new ideas keep coming, and we're going to propose legislation, and we're going to move forward, and we're going to go back to our states and start talking about these things. Some of the members have already, as you've probably seen in their local newspapers or even reported in the national media. Americans, and so we want to get that done. Our goal is to have wages that have increased stay up, the costs that Americans pay, much of it induced by COVID, go down, and people are much better off. And that is where we're headed.